Speak on this subject, man. NBA YoungBoy, man. Bro, you know what I'm gonna tell you know what I'm gonna say? NBA YoungBoy has the wrong people around him. That's exactly what it is. He got the wrong people around him, man. To be in such a great opportunity to where you can afford to do what so many people weren't able to do, is just as far as not even with where you are, which is a great accomplishment in itself, especially coming from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. But to be able to be home with everything that your criminal record that you got in trouble for in your life, right? But for you gotta be able to have people around you to let you know, like, hey man, you fucking up. You know what I mean? And you know they only saying it coming from the best place, but still letting you know, like, bro, you fucking up. Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Getting prescription pills, you don't need prescription pills. Now, this is one thing I can say about the police. Now, personally, I was going through some mental stress when it very first started. I was 23 years old. I was right where he is, you know what I mean? And I was trying to figure out the world and the new things that I was experiencing that I couldn't wrap my head around. That I'm 31 and I still haven't fully wrapped my head around, but I'm able to cope with it better, you know what I mean? Just dealing with random people and just, you know what I mean, dealing with different people, and then, the stresses of life of having to survive, and, you know what I mean, and not being able to, not handling everything with your fist, you know what I mean, and not being able to deal with people, and like I say, I still, this is why I work out a lot. I take a lot of it out in the gym. Just being able to deal with the person that's it, like they say, it's life is mental, man. It's all mental, you know what I mean? Being able to deal with the man that's gonna piss you off, who you can smash, but if you do smash him, who wins? You know what I mean? So you just you know what I'm saying, cheated yourself out of a lifestyle that you might have, that you may enjoy, right? But NBA YoungBoy, like I said, you gotta be able to have people around you to tell you, like, hey man, you fucking up. You know what I'm saying? And his dad wasn't there. My dad, I grew, like I said, I went from 18. I grew up with very strict parents. You know what I mean? So if I couldn't mess up, there's, you know what I mean? I hardly ever hear me curse unless I'm angry, because I couldn't curse growing up. You know what I mean? And I grew up in a very strict Christian household. Like, I'm sure it was somewhat similar. And, and just, things like that. You know what I mean? But, like I say, for me, from my personal perspective, after I turned like 16, you know what I mean, everything eased up. Pops is always at work, and Mom was just like, shh, you know what I'm saying? Where's J-Man? He's gone. Where is he? You better be in before it get dark. You know what I mean? That was just what it was, you know what I mean, until I turned like 16 or 17, and then I was just out, you know what I mean? But by that time, I had some values and morals about myself that kept me out of a lot of trouble, you know what I mean? But, I started dabbling in things like Adderall and stuff like that, and, that was affecting my mental as well. And, I just remember a cop telling me one time, he pulled me over, and I had something in the car that I honestly, God is my witness, did not know it was in the car, right? So when he pulled me over, and I had warrants for traffic tickets, you know what I mean? And then I had warrants out in like 3-4 counties at one time, you know what I mean? Because they was pulling me over every time they saw me, because my inspection sticker was out on my car, right? So, you know what I mean, at that point, not really understanding, like I said, life, like, you know what I mean? if you're driving around with your inspection stickers out, they're going to pull you over. You know what I mean? I don't know why I felt I was untouchable. It's still at you know, after 18 or, you know, but anyway, yeah. So when the cop pulled me over, he searched my car. He found, you know, a little bit of whatever I had, and he didn't even charge me for it. But, you know, he could just tell I was in a rough spot. You know what I mean? I was 130 pounds. You know what I mean? Just probably looked pretty stressed out. And he was just like, you know what, James? What are we gonna do to help you get your life back on track? And from that moment forward, it wasn't easy. But every freaking time they saw me, they pulled me over. But, you know what I mean, I kind of felt like it was, after that point, it was more, I could see it more as getting my life together. And, you know, from that point, I got myself together. I stopped taking drugs, any type of drugs. And, you know, I got my stuff together after that. It took, you know, 3 or 4 years after that, but, you know, it helped, you know what I mean? Even to the point to where when I was homeless after that, and it was another, I worked at a cement plant with a guy named Mark, and Mark was he used to be a cop, you know what I mean? Mark is the coolest dude ever, bro, because like the cement plant was bricked off, right? So like even when I would sleep at night and like random places, cops would knock on my window and be like, hey, you can't sleep here, you can't sleep here, you can't sleep here, right? So, you know, Mark eventually was just like, hey man, you can sleep in the back of the cement plant in the garage, you know what I mean? So that way you ain't got to worry about them waking you up in the middle of the night. And they still ended up finding me one more time after that because I was there in the middle of the night and another worker came who didn't know I was working there. And because I would sleep there and then wake up and go to work and then go to the gym, shower, and then do it all over again, right? And so another worker came, and then next thing I know, I see the police, and they're knocking on my window like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I work here, you know what I mean? And they was like, well, we need you to get somebody on the phone to confirm that you work here because we got another worker who's saying that, you know, somebody's in the plant, you know what I mean? So, but anyway, long story short, so those things helped me get myself together. So that let me know, one, that the police is not going to play with you, you know what I mean? And I mean, unless you're one of the lucky ones, and I don't know if your dad's the chief or whatever, and the head of the head of the head, you know what I mean? They might be like, call, we'll just get like some get out stuff, you know what I mean? And you know, you might get free that way, but I'm not like that, you know what I mean? So anytime, you know, so that I know that first of all, right? And on top of that, I know my parents are going to get me out. So that kept me away from a lot of stuff as well. But anyway, and also I have, you know, great friends who, like, when I you know, had people do, when I felt like people would do me wrong, like okay, for example, I'll just be honest. So the guy who, he actually passed away after that, but the guy who I made a video about him earlier on my YouTube, and he was sending me pictures of his genitals, right? So I was telling my buddy, I was like, bro, I don't know who this is. They keep sending me these pictures. I'll block the number. They text me from another number and they won't tell me who they are. They just send me pictures of their penis, right? So I was like, bro, if I find out who it is, I love y'all, but I gotta go. You know what I mean? Because he's going. You know what I mean? So my buddy was just like, well, why don't you just file a lawsuit? And he's an engineer, and I'm like, file a lawsuit? And then I was like, man, you know what? That kind of do make sense. But anyway, yeah. So you know, I got friends like that who now will be like my boy Chris and Jeremy, and you know, they definitely I'm better at it now, but when I was younger, when I would lose my temper or something like that, and I want to do something crazy, they'd be, you know, the first to tell me, no, that's not the right way to do it. You know, they'll give me a legal way to go about it, you know what I mean? So that helped me quite a bit as well. But that just brings back to the point where YoungBoy didn't have the right people around him, and unfortunately now he's in a really bad situation, man. And if you ever been to Utah, ain't no people like YoungBoy in Utah. Ain't no people, rarely. I've never seen them. You know what I mean? All they got is beautiful women and Mormons. You know what I mean? But yeah, bro, it's not good, man. Especially Ogden, bro. For real. I've never seen another black person in Ogden. You know what I mean? So, and to be doing what he was doing, you know what I mean? It's just, bro. I hate to bring up the race part of it because, you know, we're tired of hearing about it, but it's realistic. So I don't know how else to explain it. But he should have had people around him to been able to tell him, bro, look, I know you your own man. Your shit don't stink. But at the same time, bro, you fucking up, bro. I'm not going to be a part of it, bro. I'm going to go my own way. You're going to do your own thing. If this is what you want to do, I'm not going to be a part of it. And eventually he may have been like, man, you know what? I'm fucking up. I got all this and I'm risking it to go use people's names and I'm calling them and I got the prescriptions at my house in the car and I asked the cops, did they pick up the prescription? I said that while I was talking to the police on the phone. So either he wanted to go to prison or drugs just had his mind in a whole nother place, you know what I mean? So hopefully he figures it out. You know what I'm saying? That sucks, bro, honestly. But, you know, doing things like I say, man, my life is not by any means luxury at this point, you know what I mean? But, you know, I have a little bit and I'm not looking over my shoulder, worried about if the police are gonna be on me because I'm doing something illegal, or when they look in the back of my truck if they're gonna find something that shouldn't be there. You know what I mean? So, like you know, like I've known past drug dealers from the past. There's no peace of mind with that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, unfortunately, he didn't have anyone there telling him he was fucking up. So now, him and everybody around him could be gone for a very long time. And with his criminal record, they're going to try to nail him, man. And, you know, God willing that somehow he gets another chance. But, bro, you should have knew when you beat the feds that they took that personally. You know what I mean? So, yep. But, so, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you just need somebody there to let you know you're fucking up. You know what I mean?